I was giggling when we were at the very end because I was just trying to be a goon. I was like, fuck it. We're going for broke. I was confident with that kill. And I knew that there was no way I couldn't do it in less than 82 seconds. Dangling on the edge. I was willing to grapple off the stage. Mercedes, you have 82 seconds to beat this bitch up. No, she didn't say that. Created such an amazing vibe there. All I heard was pow for pow. I heard Master Eddie clear as day.
Jiu-Jitsu fans, I am being joined by a very special guest. Her name is Mercedes White, and she's coming off of a big super fight win against B Team's Paola. And man, it went to EBI overtime. She ended up getting the submission in overtime. What exactly was going in your head when you knew that your only way to win was to get a quicker submission?
When I heard Megan's voice over the intercom, which is even better because Megan, it's like, Mercedes, you have 82 seconds to beat this bitch up. No, she didn't say that, but in my head.
But that's how you processed it.
That's how I processed it. So, and when Master Vic had already come over to me to ask me if I wanted to defend or attack, that already told me I was winning, because when they're choosing who's to choose, that's whoever was most dominant during the match. So tactically, I asked to defend first because I needed to know how long I had. And then she chose back, which is usually my cook position. And because she killed me on my cook position and tactically was very smart, she waited till I dark evened out. She got the arm trapped over, kept this arm trapped over behind the tricep, crawled up, went in, trapped the outside arm for the top side triangle, went in for the armbar. Beautiful trap and bait for the Dark Haven escape. But then I knew I had to have a kill, and I knew I had to have it faster. And my fastest kill is armbar. And we had literally, which is funny, 2 days before at Master Vic's production studio, Anthony was like, hey, let's work on if she does that stupid stacky thing that you do when you escape. And the stupid stacky thing is something that my daughter taught me a long time ago. I did it at the Anna Invitational. I put my little feet in that girl's armpits, and I usually come out on top and break your back. It's really not fun. But so he's like, in case she does that stupid stacky thing, I want you to reach through the leg here and then grab the wrist and pop. So I was ready. I was calm. We'd already done a bunch of rides where I had rode his arm out as long as I possibly could to a kill. And I was just very confident. And I knew that I was confident with that kill. And I knew that there was no way I couldn't do it in less than 82 seconds. And I fucking did.
and you got it so quick. I think it was in like 46 seconds that you got it. Wow. That's so amazing. And I feel like it just shows the experience that you have in EBI rule set as well. There was a little viral clip that went on of her kind of throwing slaps at you and all that, I noticed that you guys were so close to the edge of the mat. So part of it was the referee kind of pushing you guys to make sure that she doesn't fall off the mat. Was there any part of you that watched that back that made you think like, oh, she wouldn't even have gotten that position if she wasn't getting the support from the ref?
It never even crossed my mind. I don't think that way. I watched the night before a Medusa in the OTs that they were allowing Bree and kind of play on the edge, dangling on the edge. I was willing to grapple off the stage. I was willing to oompa her off the stage. I was willing to do anything off the stage. It doesn't matter to me. I was not going to stop any movement or motion until someone said, hey, knock it off. The side of the stage didn't mean anything to me. We have this like wood edge in the side of our gym for the edge of the mats, and we grapple right to the edge of that. And, sometimes and the same with bullpen, when we were inside bullpen, if you're in the stage in bullpen, you might be coming off the stage in bullpen, but it's just the awareness. You got to have awareness. And I think people with no mat awareness are the type of people that complain about shit like that because they need an excuse as to why they're not performing properly. I was there with her on top of me, and you could hear Anthony, just oompa her. And why? Because he's tactical. Because if I oompa her, Master Vic is forced to stop and reset into the middle.
Yeah, it's so much strategy going into that. I feel like one of the things that you kind of messaged me about is that you were given this super fight and kind of put against the wall, like they want this younger girl to be dominating, and you were put in there to lose, and you proved everyone wrong. So how special was it that you got to prove the masses wrong?
Well, there's a movie called Showgirls, and there's a very amazing quote. There's always someone younger and hungrier coming down the stairs behind you. And that's the fucking truth. I'm 42 years old. I probably have a daughter her age. I'm not exactly sure how old Powell is, but I have a 23-year-old. I have a 19-year-old daughter. So there is someone younger. And I already got 2 of those bitches behind me. So what's not going to happen, though, is I'm not anybody's sacrificial lamb. I've been in this business for time. I was in the top 145-pound women on the same list with Ashlee Evans Smith when we were amateur MMA fighters. Just because people don't see lots of footage of me, because I didn't get to get out there, because I supported my husband, I built a gym, I built a bunch of amazing people in our community and also give back to those people. Like, I'm helping all these other women build themselves up. I don't, it's not just myself. So what happened is they were like, oh, she's got some experience, she's got a good following, and it's going to be a good scrap because Mercedes is kind of grimy. But Pau, she's the OnlyFans, she's the this, that. Girl, my cakes are just as good. Stop it. Just because I didn't have they don't mean I don't slam it too, girls. Come on, stop. That's the problem, is we quantify our jujitsu value based on what we look like, and that's trash. That's trash. Oh, because some diesel bitch came in. Oh, she's this, she's that. No, you're just mad because she's fucking diesel. Let her be diesel and her jujitsu be good. Just because she ain't showing you her ass later doesn't mean that her jujitsu ain't less. And you know what? I show my fucking ass too. And that's the other thing. Some girl tried to come to me and be like, oh, and Pal, and oh, she shows her ass. Good. She's got a great fucking ass. Let her fucking show it. Because you know why? Because she can. And I'm
exactly.
Not that shit. We are all beautiful. We are all powerful. And just because we do X, Y, and Z doesn't mean you need to get beat up. What you need to get beat up for is being an asshole. Those are the only reasons to have to get beat up. Other than that, I'm not trying to fight you for any other reason than to go out there and show that I'm technically proficient and that I can execute the things that I teach my students in class. And that's it. Get over your mental things and go out and have fun. I got to go out and have fun. I smiled. I was grappling in the rain. We're grappling in the rain.
Yes, you guys literally made it rain. Like, it was fight of the night. I feel like as soon as the fists or the slap started flying, it literally started raining.
I was so awesome. And I was like trying to dive in for that knee bar. And I was like, had my ass up and I was like, had that trapped. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get this knee bar. And she's all pat, 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 pat. And my husband, I can hear him, I need you to get up. I'm like, oh, this must not look good. This must look like she's really hitting me hard, but I really want this knee bar, but he's stressed. So I'm going to go ahead and pass.
Yeah. So what is the environment like at those events? Like, can you hear everyone in the stands? Like, it's not too big of an event where the crowd is too loud, so you could hear everything.
What's unique about this event being outdoors is just the energy itself was really cool. It reminded me of when we were in Cancun. He just created such an amazing vibe there. All I heard was Pal for Pal. I heard Master Eddie clear as day and my husband clear as day. And usually my husband is so super loud and stresses me out, but I didn't at all get stressed out this time at all, which I know that comes with mental preparation now. I realize now that level of stress in my head hearing him was the lack of preparation on my part. So this time I heard him clear. I heard Master Eddie clear. I heard my mother-in-law, and you can hear her in the voice. She's the only female voice in there. Go Mercedes! Like that's her. That's who pushed me that last mile on that run, because when she was waiting at the church, she was waiting at the end, and you can hear her. You can do it. I have a video. I'll send it to you, the reels, and you can hear her screaming for me. And that was it. I just pumped. But I think clarity. I zone in really hard. I didn't feel or the rain, the wind stopped. Everything stopped. I was in a tunnel. And then as soon as Master Eddie started coaching me, I was like, listen. And I was like, okay, there's the chill dog he wants. Okay, boom. Oh my God, you're going to do a dead orchard in front of this man. You better get the shit clean. 10 seconds left. Fuck it. Let's go for the wrist lock. And I was pulling her fingers back so hard for that wrist lock at the end that her skin started turning white. And in my submission on the door match, Meredith Palmieri wrist locked the fuck out of me. It was amazing. She touched my fingers to the back of my hand and she almost threw up on me. It was fantastic. So in my head, I was thinking about Meredith, and because we're really close friends now, and I'm all, I hope Meredith sees this. She's gonna be so proud of me. And I'm like grabbing on and I'm like, 3 fingers. And then she tried to stack me and flip me upside down. That's why I was giggling when we were at the very end, because I was just trying to be a goon. I was like, fuck it. We're going for broke, break her wrist.
Yes. And that goes back to the hooligan nickname. When did you get that nickname? And obviously, how does it translate into your jiu-jitsu style?
Hooligan is a way of life. That's not my nickname. My nickname is Mercules. Hooligan has been created by Willie Audifree. Willie is one of our black belts. Willie was the first one to be doing leg locks in Tucson, Arizona. He was a white belt 12 years ago, leg locking people here, and they fucking couldn't stand him. They hated Willie. I'm not kidding you. And think about 11 years ago, how frowned on leg locks were. They were super frowned upon. You weren't doing them. And David Riley here, he came into a tournament and someone was like, oh, and no leg locks. And David Riley looked around, and he actually is 10th Planet San Diego. There's a connection there. And he goes, you know what? Leg locks are illegal. And Willie went in there as a white belt, fucking leg locked everybody and beat everybody. He has a 50-50 tattoo on his ankle. So he created the heel hook hooligans. So if you see on the back of the rash
oh my gosh,
there's an X on it. And that's the same X as what you see in Japan. But that X says heel hook, and then hooligan is the red bar. So Willie created the red bar army. And it was a long fucking time ago. And he's like, I want these rash guards and these red bar. I'm like, all right, cool. And this guy was dicking him around. So I designed it. I fucking hurried up and designed it for him. We did a pre-sale. Not many sets went out and he was kind of bummed. But what ended up happening is he got a fat win in his hooligan set. And then all of a sudden, everybody's like, what's this hooligan? And then he goes, you know what? No one's getting it unless they earn it. Unless they've been chosen, they don't get this rash guard. So there's an initial set of people with the hooligan rash guard, but now there's chosen ones. Quentin Rosenwig has a set, Adrian Nez, Michael Courier, Bendy Casimir, me. There's a couple other hooligans, and you'll see them in like bullpen and ABE, but we're the only ones allowed to have the red bar. And I'm the only girl hooligan right now.
Wow, that's such an insider vibe to it. I love it because it just sounds so fitting. The hooligan type style, how it's a way of life. But yeah, it's interesting that it started in 10th Planet Tucson. How long have you been affiliated with them, and what is it about 10th Planet that has made you stay this long?
Affiliation began after UFC 177 when I met Casey Halstead at UFC 177. He was cornering Tony Ferguson. Anthony was supposed to debut that weekend. Henan Barao passed out and we got our fight taken away from us. Joe Soto ended up fighting TJ Dillashaw set. I went to go to fight camp in Vegas I was fighting Jasona Olis in Jackson's MMA series. So I went to Las Vegas to do my training camp. I've been training in Extreme Couture since I was 30. So for 12 years now, I've been at Extreme Couture under Eric Nixick and Dennis Davis. Happened to have 10th Planet Vegas opening that weekend. So I was like, I'll try it. And then I went out there opening weekend and I was like, I don't know what this jujitsu is, but this jujitsu is fucking dope. The jujitsu we were doing was not fucking jujitsu. I started in the gi. I have medals in the gi. So,
and now do you wear the gi at all anymore?
I do. I own some fat gis. I don't fucking put them on them. I do every once in a while. I get really excited because now that I know what I'm doing, and then I have creepy strong grips because I'm a massage therapist. It's not fair. Yeah, it's fun. And then I come in and I fuck with people, then I leave. I hate the gi. I don't like it. I'm claustrophobic. I would prefer to grapple naked. I'm just kidding, but not really. You know what I'm saying? I hate clothes.
I feel that.
I really enjoyed it. And then like he had a whole week of seminars. He had Boogeyman. He had Steven Martinez. Oh my God. Learning passing from Steven Martinez was fucking mind blowing. Tony Murphy, Travis Nuwaza, Eddie Cummings. So this is like my first like dive into it because I was a striker. I started out as a striker, strictly MMA under Apex with Joey Rivera. So all of a sudden I'm falling in love with jiu-jitsu. And that was the beginning of the love affair was, you know, it was Casey Halstead in that 10th Planet Vegas week. And that was it. Burchek was a purple belt. And, you know, it was a fucking match made in heaven. And then we opened 10th Planet Tucson when he was at UFC 200. So UFC 177 is the meeting. The weekend after UFC 200, we opened the gym. And now we have a second expansion, which you're seeing Torotech behind me. It's our MMA facility.
It's MMA, yeah.
We have a whole MMA school in the back of the 10th Planet gym. So we have a full cage, full stage, but we're a federal training facility. We give to the community. I think that's for me most important. I was born on Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. That's really, you know, important. So we train all the feds here. We train all the cops. We make sure they have gun. We do gun jujitsu. So like make sure they're understanding how to use their weapons and do jujitsu at the same time. So it's just being able to show proficiency in our style and the way we train on the big stage is just really important.
Yeah, and it's so cool that I'm getting to talk to you today because I think just yesterday tickets went on sale for the Bullpen Combat Jiu Jitsu, which is also kind of featuring, I think, veterans.
Yes, we have a lot of veterans on the card. It's Veterans Day weekend. It's November 12th at Catalina High School. And We Defy and I are really trying to make some big impacts this time with a new concept for donations. So I have a couple of people coming from California, Texas, Nevada, and those people obviously won't be ticket sellers. But with that being said, we have a $20 donation only ticket option, which means that for those who cannot be in attendance at the show, they can buy a $20 ticket and 100% of that $20 ticket goes to We Defy Foundation in the name of your favorite fighter. So, you know, Jeff Real, you know, he's going to be coming in from California and his lady Rhodes will also be competing. Those are two people coming from
Rhodes. That's awesome.
Those are big names, but obviously they're not going to be ticket sellers here, but their people can support them by donating in their honor. You just go to nitrotickets.com, click your favorite fighter's name and the drop down menu. You pick the $20 donation only ticket. And then we'll get sales reports and be able to see how much we actually were able to send over under each individual fighter's name. So hopefully we can get some scholarships raised. And that's what We Defy does, is they provide scholarships to veterans that have been in active duty in, combat areas. It provides them with 1-year scholarship to jiu-jitsu so that it can help them PTSD. And that also provides them with uniforms, gis, and rash guards. It's just very important that our veterans receive some type of care because the level of care they're receiving in the VA is just not enough.
That's so awesome that what you're doing within the jiu-jitsu community is so centered around giving back, whether it's this weekend to the veterans and also just to, I feel like the female MMA community and jiu-jitsu community. I feel like you're doing so much with putting on tournaments where you're also trying to give to the people that participate. Because I remember hearing one interview, you were like, it's really frustrating, you know, going to Gracie Nationals, getting one match and then going home, coming back with nothing. But a big part of your philosophy is, you know, trying to give not a care package, but I guess like a little gift bag or something that the fighters can take back with them. So when did you come up with that idea and why is it so important?
I think I transitioned the MMA portion because I was an agent for a very long time. I had Luta Elite MMA. I used to be the agent for Tracy Cortez and Courtney Casey and Casey Kenny. And I got, you have no idea. Oh my God, look up Luta Elite MMA on Instagram and you can go see my whole old roster. It was amazing. Got Tracy Cortez into Invicta. That fucking young lady is amazing.
I know, and now she's killing it.
No, she's fucking right. And also low key hooked her up with Brian Ortega, but we won't talk about that. Sorry guys.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry guys.
Matchmaker as
I
well.
just
Love
took that-
matchmaker. Love it.
That MMA feel, like, you know, when you get your sponsors and all your sponsors, you know, take care of you. And that was the thing, is like, I look at all my banners in my gym and Anthony looked like a fucking race car. So I took that concept to the people, because I wasn't trying to acquire sponsors for myself. That's so strange to me when, and I don't want to shit on events, because obviously you got to pay for your production. I don't have an overhead. So let me go ahead and say that. When I don't have an overhead, I am free to give the house away, because it's not mine to give. So when oh my God, industrialists, they make a kit for every event and it's per themed. And everybody at this bullpen gets their own kit. Everybody either gets the light kit or the dark kit. It's like the Karate Kid theme. That was the whole thing, is the whole kit. Every kit is themed differently. The Bullpen Worlds kit was kind of a Saved by the Bell 90s retro theme. And then this kit is a Cobra Kai spin. Yeah. Have you seen the artwork? Have you seen the hibiscus flower and the snake? So that's what it is the verses. It's going to be like Miyagi-Do versus Cobra Kai. So whichever side gets the most wins, I'm going to be bonusing them. They don't know a lot of the things that are coming up. So it'll be like a versus thing, because it's like the All Valley, right? That's why it's called the All Valley Championships, the same way as Karate Kid. So the 4-man 170 Combat Jiu Jitsu, there's a belt plus $1,000 cash. So they only have to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they only have to fight twice. And they got a belt and $1,000. There's another belt, and it's a fastest submission, Sharks subs, fastest submission. Sharky is one of our bullpen competitors. He's also my A1, but he's our first competitor with palsy. And he has a submission win in bullpen. And that's the other thing I want to point out, is we have been really inclusive, and I really am proud to say we've had a visually impaired competitor at Bullpen Worlds, and she competed, was amazing. We've had multiple sclerosis, palsy, like we are just, it's amazing to see how many people have been included, including now tiny divisions too. So on this event, we have 2 very tiny women, not having to put kids against each other, which is great. It's not easy to find 105-pound adult women to face each other that are grown-ups. So luckily we have Rosa from Tucson, and then Lilith is coming down from Las Vegas, and she was featured on High Rollers. So Lilith Gonzalez is coming down from Las Vegas to feature
High Rollers. Love what they do.
Tiny match. Yeah, I know. They're, oh God, so much fun. They're doing a wrestling event coming up in January. I'm super excited about.
Yeah, they're doing a wrestling event and also a veterans themed event November 17th. Have you competed under
November 19th, I think, is their veterans event. And we did last year have 2 competitors on that event. We had Roman Mori and Johnny Ibeson. And Roman is an Army Ranger, and he's actually won titles there now. Roman's the big redhead that we have. He's absolutely fantastic. But he's done very well over at High Rollers. Tiki will be down, and Tiki is facing Adrian Nez. I am very excited about that matchup, because Tiki is such a showman. He's so exciting. So that's going to be an exciting matchup. Jordan Worth is coming down to take on Jarrell Madrid. So we have a lot of great Vegas and California athletes coming down. So I am probably going to add a couple more matches to the card just for some fun. So if anybody, wants to get on, just let me know. We'll have a good weekend.
That's so awesome. Yes, I cannot wait. And then do you guys do like it streaming live on YouTube, or will it be after the fact that you can watch it?
Suave Network. We're streaming
it again.
Arte Suave.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Arte Suave Network will be streaming, and I believe the stream is 20. Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to see it. You got Tiki on that. He's always acting crazy at high rollers against Adrian Yanez. That's a great matchup. And then you also have the 105 females. I feel like I haven't weighed 105 since I was like in middle school. So they're probably
Oh
so
my gosh.
quick and fast. I can't wait
My
to see
son
that.
is 9 and he doesn't weigh 105 pounds. We have for the Combat Jiu Jitsu back bracket, I want to point out, we have Matt Ferriola coming in from the actual Combat Jiu Jitsu event that Anthony was just on. That is who beat Anthony. That's how he earned his spot on this show, is by beating Anthony Burchek. So Matt Ferriola, Princeton Jackson, hi puppy, hello. Yeah, you can't. I'll swirl. I'll
She's
say
a special guest.
Princeton Jackson won his spot through Bullpen Worlds. Ikea Cat, let's not count him out because he's a wrestler who does MMA, and he's gonna be a dark horse. I really hope people watch him. He's a young up and coming. And what I do want to try to feature with these combat matches are actually MMA fighters. I love it to people. I love you so much, but nothing. Listen, I'm gonna be real. I did hate slapping. I'm gonna let you know personally, as an MMA fighter, I felt it was so hard not to want to close my hand. There was one point where I realized I wanted to punch her in the face, and I was like, dude. And that's why I stopped with the slapping, because I was like, I'm gonna get DQ'd, because it's gonna be boom, 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 and then I'm gonna just be like, fuck, 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 fuck. And that's where I'm laughing so hard because my buddy Chris, he's my main training partner. He's been through all my MMA camps. He goes, hey, you kind of slap like a bitch. And I was like, you're right. I popped my elbow 2 days before. Oh, by the way, my right elbow, I popped 2 days before the event. Didn't tell anybody. I could not straight extend it. So that's the arm I was riding with. After she just popped this one. By the way, I verbally tapped. It was going. She probably got me at 80 seconds, but the release was at 82. And I was like, oh my God, how the fuck am I going to armbar her with a broken arm? So I went with the other arm, and that one was already messed up.
Oh my gosh. I guess if it's already popped, you can mentally go into it and not be too worried about you re-injuring it more. But yeah, that was the best match of the night. And just to kind of wrap things up, you've been doing jiu-jitsu and MMA for quite some time. What is advice that you would give to someone in the beginning stages of their jiu-jitsu career, with jiu-jitsu becoming bigger than it ever has been before, with prizes actually having money at these tournaments? So what would your advice be?
They got paid $50,000 for just jiu-jitsu. My match was combat. I got paid more than half of my pro MMA fighters to debut. And you want to have me ever step into a cage and fight anybody for less than what I'm getting paid at Combat Jiu Jitsu? It'll never happen again. Jiu Jitsu's here. It's not fucking going anywhere, and the money is here. Train all the time. If this is your life, once a day ain't gonna cut it. You need to be at your practices 2 times a day. You need to have your strength and conditioning on. You need to be at strength and conditioning 2 to 3 times a week. You need to be running 3 times a week, 3 to 5 miles a week. You need to be taking care of your body, because as much as you break it down, you have to take care of it. It takes 48 hours for your glycogen to recover. Cryotherapy, red light, get massages. Go take care of your body. Take a day off, because that day off restores everything and you can come back. But also, don't limit yourself because you think you cannot do it. It took me a year to Granby. A year to learn how to Granby, okay? I hated leg locks forever. I'm 42. I weighed 220 pounds. I was a size 22, dealing with these young people and just constantly someone younger and better. Don't give up on yourself. It's like a PhD. A black belt is your PhD. Plan to spend 10 years on that motherfucker and appreciate every moment, because it could be like COVID and they can close those motherfucker doors again. And you have those tarps up, or we're fucking doing backdoor training. Be very appreciative for all the things you have, because tomorrow it's not here. That's it.
Wow.
Fucking banger.
That's
Let's
an
go.
Awesome. That's an awesome piece of advice. And it's so true that the money is in jiu-jitsu. Now I have a friend who is also in MMA, and this is the first time she ever did combat jiu-jitsu. And she's just like, wow, it's so crazy being able to come back from this tournament and my body still feels good. She like had great connections with Eddie Bravo, and she'll be invited back to every card. So she's just like, dang, I think I want to just commit to jiu-jitsu instead of, you know, she's on the regional scene for MMA right now. And she says like, oh, you know, I don't know if it's worth it as much. So it's crazy.
Let's look at your value.
Opportunity.
Like as a business person, and this is me as the agent talking, this is me going, if I can get your value, you as an athlete, I'm going to get you on Combat Jiu Jitsu EBI. Now you're on Fight Pass. Boom. Now you're winning. So when you go to a regional promotion and I pitch you, I'm like, hi, I have Alex, you're going to book her. Well, she's going to start at 250. No, she's not, because have you seen she's already on Fight Pass? Boom, boom, boom. You're going to start her at 750. And that's how you use it for negotiation. And that's why ONE FC, look at ONE FC bringing over the grapplers and paying them well. That Japan is doing the same thing. UFC right now is monopolizing on the people that are willing to take whatever they can get. And that's where the problem is. All the other organizations are building up value. It's fine. When I saw that little midget in the UFC costume, that's when I realized it's all a show. And what we're doing right now in jiu-jitsu, ADCC, are you kidding? Look at how much money those guys are making just being sponsored for ADCC. Insane. Jiu-jitsu's here and it's not fucking going anywhere. And I'm not trying to get head trauma for $250. Granted, I did get slapped in the back
I was going to
of the head
say,
times, but
yeah, I was going to say, just not taking fists to the head, not taking elbows is such a big difference in for the longevity of these guys. So it's such an honor that I got to speak to you today. Also, I had no idea that you had an agent background as well, because hearing about the business side of things was so awesome.
I've been around this block a couple times, girlfriend.
I love it. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview.